Hey y'all. So before I finish this week's video, I want to say the lighting is poor in here. I know it's because these walls are caca green, and so that's why. So I just got back from the gym and eating a little bit of lunch, and so now my hair is soaking wet, y'all. This is from the gym. My hair is soaking wet. So I'm about to my shirt is soaking wet. My pants are so everything's wet. You would think somebody would come in the house and take that off, but I didn't. So I'm about to put on a hair mask because tomorrow I'm going to Mardi Gras, but not in New Orleans. That is y'all. Story time. So we were supposed to go to Mardi Gras in New Orleans tomorrow on a day trip, on like a party bus. So check this out. We saw the event pop up on Facebook. You know how events pop up on Facebook that they think you might be interested in. So we saw the event pop up on Facebook, y'all. And so a lot of us saw it. A lot of us saw it who didn't even know like the next person was interested. And when I say us, I mean like some of my family members and some like people that I know from my hometown. Like we all saw this event pop up. So everybody was like, yes, they want to go. And it was just $50 deposit. It was like $50 deposit. You the total was $125. You're going to pay the other $75 a few weeks before you go. It was also told to us that we would receive all of these different updates, event information, itineraries, t-shirts, refreshments will be served on board the bus, cocktails could be purchased, also BYOB, like it was everything. And so literally this trip was going for 24 hours. We were going to spend 8 hours driving to New Orleans from Tennessee, spend the whole day there and party, and leave in the middle of the night and be back home the next morning. So we were supposed to be leaving tomorrow night, which will be Saturday. So as time went on, we all booked this thing back in January, which when I first saw it, I thought that's not enough time. That's not enough time to get everything together, because I've been to Mardi Gras before, and if you're trying to do like group activities and stuff, you really need to be working with people. Like some people book these trips when they leave like the year before. Like if I want to go to Mardi Gras next year and I'm there this year, I'm going to go ahead and start like booking stuff, like my room at least, and maybe start organizing my ride. Maybe necessarily not book a flight, because a lot of times flights are not ready a year in advance, but still you start organizing stuff. So I'm like, if we're doing a group trip, like how is this, like I don't know, how is this gonna work? Like what are we doing for entertainment? Are we planning on going to be part of parades? Like we needed to know details as time went on. So this girl basically had provided a month of time to try to get this together. So every week random people in the group would say stuff like, hey, you got any updates? Hey, we want to know what's going on with the trip. Hey, is the trip still on? And so last Friday, the money was due last Tuesday, the 12th, I think. Last Friday, she put a message on the group page saying that everybody hadn't paid their money. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, we're 10 days away. Everybody hasn't paid their money. Majority of this money has to pay for a charter bus, which is not cheap, because we have chartered a bus before twice. One time it was fully paid by a family member, and then another time we split the cost of the bus. And I know that's not cheap. So I'm like, okay, this don't make no sense. We got to pay all this money for this bus, and half the people have paid. So what does that mean? So my thing was, well, why don't you let people come on for the $75 since you already have people $50 deposits? So I tried to throw that out there. We tried to throw out so many suggestions to this girl, y'all. She was not having it. She was the only person that was experienced and didn't want to hear nothing we had to say. And funny enough, we have been enough places. Even if you look at my vlog, and my little family have been enough places to know that this plan was going left completely. So people started coming at her, good and bad. Like, look, you need to figure out our money. Then some people were like, look, it's, you know, things happen. And I'm not saying things don't happen. I'm fine with that. But when you come off with attitude from the jump, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So I had my words with the girl. I said what I had to say, and then I was done. So then by that time, people started demanding their money back. But she kept telling us stuff like, well, I got to wait to get the deposits back, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not waiting on nothing else. We've been waiting on you the whole time. Give us our money back. So long story short, Actually, it's been a 5-minute story so far. Long story short, we finally got our money back. People start getting their money back Sunday, this past Sunday. So now it's like, what do we do now? We still want to go to Mardi Gras, but it's too late to try to book something, especially a flight. I'm about to put this mask on, y'all. This is the Sunny Isle Jamaican Black Castor Oil Intensive Repair Mask. It's a damage reversing formula. That's what it says. We'll see. My hair is not too bad, but it's dry. So, yeah. But anyway, so, yeah, we want to go to Mardi Gras. We're like, what can we do? And so many little cities around, they try to do stuff to entertain, because everybody can't go to Mardi Gras. Like, everybody can't be there. So, we are close to Nashville. Matter of fact, I'm about 20-something miles from Nashville, the city that I live in. So, I decided to look to see what events are taking place in Nashville. And so, we found that they're going to do a bar crawl, like a Mardi Gras. That's hard to say. Try to say Mardi Gras bar crawl. See? We're going to have that tomorrow from 3 p.m. until 11. So we're like, ooh, let's go to that. And it was affordable. So we bought tickets to do that. So basically, you're just Mardi Gras themed, and we're just crawling to different bars. And if you want to drink, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. You can just enjoy the atmosphere and the people around. It'll just be fun. So hopefully, I mean, it's going to be fun regardless, because, the people that I'm going with, they like having fun. So we're going to have fun, even if everybody else is not having fun. And then, so it became a thing where we should just make this a whole day, because we were going to spend the whole day in New Orleans. So now we are adding things to do. All right, I'm about to put this on my ends. This is the Aunt Jackie's Nourish My Hair Flaxseed and Manoi Oil. Putting this on the ends of my hair. I know y'all probably can't see this good because the lighting in here is bad, but maybe I can try to link them below. I said that on the last video. I ain't linked nothing. Anyways, so now we're like, what else can we do? What can we do while we're here? And we've always wanted to do a pedal bar. Have you ever seen a pedal bar where it's like 12 people on this long bicycle looking thing, and you're just like pedaling, and you're just stopping at different like bars and spots like that. Because Nashville is full of bars, especially downtown. So it fits that, that atmosphere to have pedal bar. So then we were like, let's do a pedal bar. So then we bought tickets to a pedal bar, and we're going to do that. And then we were like, well, what else can we do? It's Black History Month. Let's find something else we can do downtown or in Nashville. So there's a restaurant called Rhythm and Spice. It's Caribbean style food. They have vegan options. Look at me looking for the comb that's in my hair. Girl, have y'all done that before? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So anyway, Rhythm and Spice. So we decided, let's try Rhythm and Spice. Let's patronize a black business. Natural hair girls are probably cringing at what I'm doing right now, because I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, we're like, let's go to Rhythm and Spice. We're going there in the morning. That's where we're actually going first. And then the bicycle thing starts after that at like 1 o'clock. And then after that, our bar crawl starts. So then we were like, what else can we do? There's so many things to do in Nashville now, especially for like people of color. It used to not be like that when I was a little bit younger, like back in my 20s. We found stuff to do, but it seems like now there's even like more stuff to do. So there's another event later on tomorrow night around 10. It's a rooftop party on top of the Hard Rock Cafe, I believe. They have a rooftop, but it's cold here. But still, I mean, when you're having a good time, you might go step out there for a minute. So that's at 10 tomorrow night. We said we're playing that by ear because, let's be real, we're not 20 anymore. Most of my friends work. They have careers and jobs. They have kids, some of them have husbands. And so, by the time 10 o'clock roll around, might be asking a lot. Might be asking a lot of people to try to stay up and go to a party. But that's our fourth option for the day, is to go to that rooftop party. So we may go to that, we may not. I will take my camera. I wasn't going to take it at first, but then I thought, man, this is a good opportunity to show people me outside of regular Daily Nedd stuff. And what I mean is, being Hamlet's wife and being Khaleesi and Lourdes' mommy. Like, I can show some different stuff on there. Put some different people on there. Because we always put different people from the islands on there. And so I don't feel like my family has been on there. Like this side of my family has not been on there in a while. So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking my camera. I'm taking my camera. I don't care if those people don't want to be on camera. Those people, I mean the people I'll be with tomorrow. I don't care. Y'all being on camera. If you anywhere near me, your face is going to be on that camera. So I can record Mardi Gras in Nashville and just see. Let's just see if they can compete with New Orleans. I mean, I don't know if they can or can't, but I doubt it. I've been to New Orleans before. I mean, they're going to have their version of it, but, you know. Anyways, what I really wanted to come on here and talk about is, y'all know I said that, well, on my social media, I was talking about, you know, just dealing with stuff, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yesterday I was faced with a situation where I had to face the good, the bad, or the ugly. It was actually the ugly that I had to face. And not to say that in a bad way, because, you know, I don't want to bring any negativity or speak any negativity into my life, period. But this is what happened. So y'all know Lourdes, we've been making these videos for the last 4 or 5 weeks, about Lourdes' walking journey. And so Wednesday, when we went to casting, we was talking to the doctor, and I did not film this week, and I wish I would have. But I felt like it's becoming repetitious, and you guys are kind of used to like the casting part of it. So now I just feel like, don't put that part in there anymore. Well, when I got there, the doctor was expressing to me his reservations about doing both surgeries in one day, meaning the hip and the feet. And so, crazy enough, what he's saying I believe in. And people who have hip dysplasia usually get it resolved with surgery. That's normally the resolve. But I have been wrestling with these procedures, just like mentally, since I heard about them. Even though it made sense to me and I thought, okay, this is going to help Lourdes. You just need to, you know, understand it and know that the doctor is the professional. And at the end of the day, CP is not curable, but it's manageable. And these may be some of the things we have to do to manage it. So I try to come from that point of view. I kept being brought to attention by something, and I didn't know what that was. And so when I went to the doctor and he said that, you know, Lourdes is small, and when we do the surgery, there's going to be a lot of incisions. He was talking about how the incisions at the feet can be stopped with a tourniquet, but the incision at the hip cannot be. So it could be a lot of blood loss. So, you know, y'all, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh, no. So he was like, you know, I don't want it to become complications. So when he said complications, I'm like, yeah, like, are you meaning where y'all might have to, like, give her blood? Or, like, I'm starting to think like that. So then he's like, so now I may want to just hold off on the hip and do the feet first. And so I'm like, okay, fine. But then that becomes 2 anesthesias, 2 recoveries, right? So then I'm like, no, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, don't commit me to that again this year. I don't know. Like, you're just putting too much on me right now. I don't know. I just started feeling really pressured, and it was getting on my nerves. Like, I was just thinking, listen, let's make a decision, because I already feel like just the dates alone, we wrestled with trying to get the date right to even do surgery. Like, I don't know. It's just too much. It's too much for her to take on physically, and it's too much for me to take on mentally, because I've been fighting this fight for so long. But then not really, because I was okay with that at first. And now I'm like, should I be okay with this? Is that what keeps trying to grab my attention? What is telling me in the middle of the night? And I mean like at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4, like what is waking me up saying, hey, you need to think about this. Hey, you need, like, this keeps happening, y'all. I keep getting up, thinking about it. Next thing you know, I'm Googling stuff. I'm looking at kids who had hip dysplasia surgery. I'm watching them in their spica cast, which is the cast they put on after that. I'm seeing their faces being miserable. I'm reading the stuff their mom and dad is saying. I'm seeing stuff like your child could be in this cast for 3 to 6 months. I don't know, y'all. I just kept going on and on. Like for like the last few weeks since I've been knowing, I just keep struggling with this crap. But it feels different this time. So I took Lourdes to school yesterday. You know, it was take your booty back to daycare Thursday. And when I went in, I went to tell one of the head nurses, because I hadn't told her yet that the surgery has been rescheduled. So I was like, hey, I want to let you know the surgery's been rescheduled. It's not on the 28th anymore. It's on the 13th of March. And she was like, yeah, that's no big deal. And then some kind of way that conversation went from that to talking about the process of having hip surgery. And so Special Kids has dealt with kids that's had this surgery quite a few times. Matter of fact, some kids have had the surgery at Special Kids, and well, no, they didn't even go to Special Kids. Some kids have had the surgery and were in school, but they had to be, you know, somebody needed to tend to them. And so their parents had to go to work, of course. And so they ended up enrolling them temporarily in Special Kids so that the nurses there could take care of their child while they were, you know, going back to work. So they know so much about this procedure. So then Stephanie, which is the nurse, started telling me all the ugly about this surgery. You know, about the cast, how it smells, how it breaks down your skin, how you keep having to have it on for all this time, how because it does restrict your mobility when you get out of the cast, you got to have a whole nother therapy just to try to get your mobility back. But you might not be able to do that right away because we don't know if it's properly healed or fully healed. Like, it just became all of this stuff. So it was just like hitting me. So then I thought, okay, thank you for giving me that, because nobody has put it into that perspective for me yet. Like, nobody has sat me down and said, hey, you need to think about this. Not even my close relatives. Like, everybody that I've told about this just was kind of like, okay, let me know when it's going to happen. Nobody has said, hey, have you thought about this? Or how do you feel about this? Like, nobody has said anything. So now I'm going back to keep waking up in the middle of the night, and how I'm just like, why do I keep getting, I don't want to call it interrupted. I keep getting warned that I need to think. You need to think, and you need to think with the same intensity and the same spirit as you did when you first had Lourdes. Because see, when I first had Lourdes, y'all, I had my boxing gloves on. I fought hard for that kid every day. Literally all day. And in the previous videos, I've told y'all that I'm tired. And I think that's why I don't feel that fight. I didn't feel that fight when the doctor first told me about that surgery. And then it became me being confronted about my fight. Like, what happened to your fight? It's in you, but what happened to it? And I think because I've been getting so upset about being tired and misunderstood, and even silently, like when I silently cry or dry cry, when I'm not even having tears come out, but I'm feeling it, you know, that, like, I think God is feeling it. And I always used to wonder when people say God spoke to me. I used to be like, why don't God ever talk to me? I ain't never felt that before. I didn't know what I was supposed to be listening for. Like, what am I listening for? God speaking to everybody but me. What am I listening for? And so, not until recently that I experienced a spiritual awakening, and God was not speaking to me, but he was giving me these feelings of everything. But the biggest feeling was, you need to get up. You need to clear your mind, clear your surroundings, and think about what you're deciding for Lourdes right now. And not that you're making a bad decision, you're making a impulse decision about her. And you need to think about it, because she can't advocate for herself. That's your job. That's your job. You don't have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job for a company because you work for her. You work for her and you're her advocate. And you need to think about what you're about to sign her up for. So while the doctor is still trying to decide, I have decided we will not be having hip surgery right now, because I feel like we need to explore other methods. He is a surgeon, so surgery will be the first thing that he would push on me. I don't want to say push on me, will be the first resolve, because he's a surgeon. I'm not mad at him. I just feel like I hate that I got into such a emotional space that I couldn't even clearly think about what you were saying to me. All I was thinking was, I want to get her up on her feet. I want her walking. And so, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do the hip surgery. The tendon surgery makes perfect sense, and it will just put her back in regular casting for now. But the hip surgery with tendon surgery would have put her in a full lower body cast, and it sounds miserable. I do not want to make my happy child miserable right now. And there's so many alternatives out here. I'm not saying it's going to fix anything, but I just feel like by me having a conversation with Stephanie, and I thank you, Stephanie, for telling me what you told me. Hey, y'all. My memory card only had 20 minutes on it, so I've talked for 20 minutes. And this was... I usually try to make our videos 20 minutes long, and here I am talking for 20 minutes. Anyways, now I've moved on to makeup. I'm trying to get my makeup together for the weekend. So I'm just going through the stuff I want to pack and take with me in case we go out tomorrow night. I already have my makeup on for the day when we, you know, before we meet up, I'll have it on. I wish the lighting was good so I could show y'all what I'm doing, because I'm swatching stuff just to see how it looks. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. I thank Stephanie for telling me what she told me and bringing to my attention what needs to be brought. Because then I went to the gym after that, and I'm going to tell y'all, I beat that treadmill down, stomping so hard, trying to, you know, work through my stuff. And I'm so glad I'm trying on eyeshadow too, y'all, to see what colors will be good for tomorrow. I'm so glad I talked to her, because she helped me to recognize, well, just understand the choices that you're making. This is what comes with it. I feel like far too many times we're told something in a way that makes us feel like all we can see is the resolution or the outcome, and we don't really see the process. We don't think about that part of it. We don't think about how intense that process is going to be. We just see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we don't see all the things passing through. And that's what Stephanie gave to me yesterday. She gave me that, and I needed that, because I am a matter-of-fact person, and I needed to know what I'm about to be, the journey I'm really about to go on with Lourdes. You know what I'm saying? I really needed to know that. And so now I'm thinking of other alternatives, and the first alternative that popped into my head was a chiropractor. You know, chiropractors are the most underrated medical professional. As a matter of fact, they don't get much respect because, you know, people don't think that they don't consider them actual doctors. And so, of course, they're not going to be inclined to refer you to a chiropractor. And so I wouldn't have expected the doctor to have done that anyway, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business, and, you know, he's having to push his business, you know, push his business forward. And I get that. And, you know, he has to follow the protocol that he feels is best for Lourdes. And so I feel like then that becomes my choice and opportunity to say, hey, I want to explore something different for my child. Now, I haven't talked to my husband about this yet, but he's really good about believing in the things that I do as far as Lourdes is concerned. He's supportive. So I don't think that he would not. I think he would be glad to hear that, you know, I feel like we need to go a different route first. I'm not saying she won't have hip surgery. I'm just saying, before we go that extreme, let's explore something else. So I want to see if I can get a chiropractor to do some adjustments on her. Because one thing Stephanie kept saying when we talked was, I've been praying every day for Lourdes that this hip goes back in socket. And I'm like, well, dang, I ain't never even thought about that either. Like, I guess it could go back in socket if it came out of socket. I mean, I'm sure it's less likely to happen, but why can't it? Like, why can't that happen? Anything's possible. Like, you know that. You know anything is possible. And that's what made me feel like, well, maybe somebody can guide her to that. Somebody can guide that hip to going back in the socket. And maybe that person needs to be the chiropractor, or somebody who practices like massage therapy or something like that. But I feel better about it being a chiropractor. I feel like they'll be able to do that better. I think that's their lane. So yeah, I will, I started to research chiropractors in the area. Haven't necessarily came across one yet, but I did see some do pediatric work, which is great. And so I'm also going to consult with her neurologist, because we actually have a neurologist appointment on March the 11th, which is 2 days before she has surgery. And I want to consult with her neurologist, because I think I told you guys in the previous video that her neurologist used to be a physical therapist. So who better to consult than her? She knows about the brain injury side of CP, and then she knows about the physical therapy side of CP. So I think that she would be the best person to help me not decide, but help me find a chiropractor, because it's decided. Because even though we're pushing off the hip surgery, what's the harm in me trying to chiropractor for so many months until then, and just see what happens? Maybe re-x-ray her before then, excuse me, and see if things have changed. I also researched online where there's a harness that you could get for your child, and that would be something that probably her neurologist would have to prescribe. But you can get this harness that will, I guess after the chiropractor does their adjustments, you put them in this harness and it will force their hip to stay in a better position. I guess the position that will try to get the ball back in the socket, basically. So I'm like, why can't we do that? Why can't we try that? So I'm going to the neurologist to talk about that and to see if, you know, can she get that set up as well? Because somebody will have to custom make that harness. But these are the things that I feel like I need to do for Lourdes before I just say, hey, yeah, go ahead and cut on my child. Yeah, go ahead and cut on my child and give her hip surgery. I think that I need to explore other options first. I owe that to her to explore other options, and that's what I'm doing. So that's basically what I wanted to end this video with, guys. I wanted to end this video with the fact that my entire life I never knew or never recognized truly what it meant to have God speak to you. And now that I know that feeling, how it feels, God has spoken to me my entire life. And it's funny that I didn't recognize how that was supposed to feel or how it was supposed to sound. And so this is for people who dealing with the same thing. Like, you hear other people and preachers and reachers and teachers and whatever they call themselves, you hear them say all the time that God has spoken to them, and God, you know, like all these different things, and you kind of feeling like, well, I don't know if I felt that before. You kind of thinking like, it doesn't seem like I've dealt with this before. And so then it's been happening to you, but you didn't know how that felt. And so now it's like, I've had that feeling, and I will never not know what that feeling is again. I have never ignored it, but I will never be unable to recognize that feeling again. I'm glad that it happened to me. I'm glad it happened for me, for Lourdes, for our family. And so that's what we're doing. We are taking a step back from that, and we're going to explore other options. We're going to explore other options for the sake of, you know, not doing something too drastic, too harsh, and just, you know, overall, just one of those things where it's traumatizing. We do not want to traumatize this kid. This kid is the happiest kid, and we want to keep her in a happy place. And I know that she'll bounce back because she is a kid, but I'm just saying, you have to be able to recognize the signs within yourself, so that you can confront yourself and say, hey, you're feeling this for a reason, and you need to clear your mind and clear your heart so that you can make the best choices for yourself, your family, and whoever else relies on you for those types of decisions. So thank you so much for watching this week's video. I'm sorry that it's so long. I'm going to take y'all to Mardi Gras, Nashville with me tomorrow, and to eat. We're going to have fun. But I just wanted to update you guys and let you know that feeling. And if you've ever had it inside of you, that is what you're feeling. If you believe in a higher power or you believe in God. If you don't, I don't know what that feeling is then. I don't know. And I'm not going to try to figure it out. I have made a point to stay out of other people's business and just figure out my stuff, Lourdes' stuff, Calicia's stuff, and Hamlet's stuff. And sometimes I don't want to figure out their stuff, but I do because I know they rely on me. But anyways, so I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you in next week's video. Thank you so much for tuning in to our channel. Please share our channel. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't. If you're new, welcome to our channel. Catch up on all of our videos. Go check out the stuff that we're doing out here in these streets. And peace.